10 Golden Age affairs that shocked Hollywood. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the most scandalous love affairs that rocked Hollywood's golden age. These weren't just casual romances. These were passionate, career-destroying relationships that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. What you're about to discover will completely change how you view some of your most beloved classic film icons. We're talking about affairs that ended marriages, destroyed reputations, led to congressional condemnation, and forced stars into exile. But here's what you didn't know. Some of these relationships literally changed America's moral landscape. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more classic Hollywood secrets. Turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the golden era's most shocking revelations. Trust me, what's coming next is even more surprising than you could imagine. The moral code that controlled Hollywood. Before we reveal these scandalous affairs, you need to understand how different Hollywood was during the Golden Age. The motion picture production code dictated not just what could be shown on screen, but how stars were expected to behave in their personal lives. Studios had morality clauses that gave them power to drop any performer whose personal conduct might damage their box office appeal. This meant affairs and scandals could literally end careers overnight. The fact that so many stars risked everything for forbidden love makes these stories even more dramatic. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have your entire career dependent on maintaining a perfect public image? Let us know in the comments what you think you would have done in their situation. Stay tuned, because our first affair lasted an incredible 27 years. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, the 27-year secret. Here's where it gets interesting. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn's affair became Hollywood's worst-kept secret, lasting from 1942 until Tracy's death in 1967. They met on Woman of the Year, and Hepburn later wrote, "I knew right away that I found him irresistible." What made this affair particularly shocking was that Tracy remained married to his wife Louise throughout the entire relationship due to his strict Catholic beliefs. Divorce was never an option, which meant Hepburn spent 27 years as the other woman, never able to publicly acknowledge their love. The couple made 9 films together, and their on-screen chemistry was so undeniable that audiences flocked to see what they believed was just great acting. Little did they know they were witnessing real love unfold on camera. But wait. What's coming next involves an affair so scandalous it led to congressional condemnation. Ingrid Bergman and Roberto Rossellini, the affair that shocked America. This next revelation involves one of Hollywood's most beloved stars committing what 1940s America considered an unforgivable sin. Ingrid Bergman, adored for her wholesome roles in Casablanca, began an affair with Italian director Roberto Rossellini in 1949 while filming Stromboli. The scandal erupted when Bergman became pregnant with Rossellini's child while still married to her husband. When baby Robertino was born out of wedlock in February 1950, the American public was outraged beyond belief. The reaction was so severe that Senator Johnson denounced Bergman on the Senate floor, calling her a powerful influence for evil, and saying she had perpetrated an assault on the institution of marriage. Think about that. A United States senator took official time to condemn a movie star's love life. Do you think the public reaction to Bergman's affair was justified, or was it extreme moral standards of the era? Share your thoughts on how society's views on relationships have changed. The scandal forced Bergman into exile in Italy for 7 years, leaving behind her daughter and entire Hollywood career. She later said, "I've gone from saint to whore and back to saint again, all in one lifetime." This is where it gets really interesting. Our next story involves one of Hollywood's biggest cover-ups, Clark Gable and Loretta Young, the secret child. Hang tight, because this next story involves a massive Hollywood cover-up. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, had an affair with 19-year-old Loretta Young during filming of Call of the Wild in 1935. The affair resulted in Young becoming pregnant. But here's the shocking part. She disappeared from Hollywood for over a year, claiming to be studying in Europe. In reality, she gave birth to Gable's daughter, Judy Lewis, in complete secrecy. When Young returned to Hollywood, she adopted her own biological daughter, claiming she was an orphan. The deception was so complete that even Judy Lewis didn't learn the truth about her parentage until she was in her 30s. Young maintained this elaborate lie for decades to protect both careers. What makes this story even more heartbreaking is that Judy grew up knowing something was different, but never understanding why her adoptive mother looked exactly like her. Stay tuned for what's coming next. The most famous affair in Hollywood history. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. The most notorious affair. What's coming next is perhaps the most famous affair in Hollywood history. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton's relationship began on the set of Cleopatra in 1961 and became one of Hollywood's most sensational scandals. When they had their first on-screen kiss, they were unwilling to stop even after the director called cut. What made their affair so shocking was that both were married to other people, and their passionate relationship played out in full view of international media. Their affair was fueled by risky drinking, wild spending, and increasingly brutal fights that became legendary in Hollywood circles. The violence was as dramatic as any movie scene. On one occasion, Taylor hid in Burton's dressing room, and when she spotted one of his female co-stars, leaped out and chased her away with a broken bottle. Do you think some relationships are just too passionate to survive? Taylor and Burton's love was so intense that Taylor later said she never wanted to be that much in love again. They divorced in 1974, remarried in 1975, and divorced again, proving that some loves are too destructive to sustain. Rita Hayworth and Orson Welles, the genius and the goddess. But wait, this next story shows how jealousy can destroy even the most promising relationships. Rita Hayworth, the love goddess, married Citizen Kane, genius Orson Welles, in 1943 in a spontaneous courthouse ceremony during Hayworth's lunch break. What makes their relationship particularly tragic is how Hayworth's insecurities poisoned her marriage to Welles. She would return home sobbing and furious, accusing him of infidelities that existed only in her imagination. The constant accusations drove Welles away from the marriage he had initially been committed to. The irony? Hayworth's unfounded jealousy eventually pushed Welles into actually having an affair with Judy Garland. During her rocky marriage to Welles, Hayworth fell into her own affair with Gilda co-star Glenn Ford. The web of infidelity ultimately destroyed what could have been one of Hollywood's greatest power couples. This proves that mixing love and career could be devastating. Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio, America's sweethearts, turn sour. This final affair reveals how even America's sweethearts could have relationships filled with jealousy and control. Marilyn Monroe and baseball legend Joe DiMaggio seemed like the perfect couple when they married in 1954, but cracks appeared almost immediately. DiMaggio wanted Monroe to retire and devote all her time to their relationship. As Monroe later explained, "I didn't want to give up my career, and that's what Joe wanted me to do most of all. He wanted me to be the beautiful ex-actress." The breaking point came during filming of Monroe's most iconic scene, the subway grate moment in The 7-Year Itch, where her skirt billows up. DiMaggio, watching the filming, became enraged and stormed off the set in front of the entire crew. Do you think partners have the right to ask their spouse to give up their career dreams? This question was just as relevant in the 1950s as it is today. That night, the couple had a violent argument in their hotel room, and soon after, Monroe filed for divorce. Their fairy tale romance had lasted less than a year, destroyed by jealousy and incompatible dreams. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt you had to choose between love and your dreams? These golden age stars faced impossible choices that still resonate today. These incredible stories show us that behind the glamorous facade, golden age stars were real people making difficult choices about love and career. From Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn's 27-year secret love to Ingrid Bergman's exile from America, these affairs remind us that human emotions were just as complex then as they are today. The price these stars paid for following their hearts was often enormous. Careers destroyed, reputations ruined, and sometimes even physical danger. Yet their willingness to risk everything for love created some of the most compelling real-life dramas in Hollywood history. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed learning about these amazing secret affairs. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos about more hidden Hollywood histories and secret friendships that change the industry forever. Thank you for being part of our community. What kind of videos would you like us to make next? Let us know in the comments. See you on the next video.